Since the founding of Chobani, the world's largest yogurt factory in Twin Falls, Idaho, in 2012, the spotlight has been on the influx of Muslim refugees in Idaho. Chobani's founder, Hamdi Ulukaya, has become a poster boy for the United Nations as well as the Clinton Global Initiative Refugee Program. Ann Corcoran's book, Refugee Resettlement and the Hijra to America, has helped in putting together some of the pieces of the puzzle. There seems to be a very conscious effort to redistribute the world's Muslims to the Western world. Even the Young Turks have sounded the alarm by the large sums of money that have been thrown at the Clintons' organization. Buying politicians is certainly nothing new, and those of Idaho have been overjoyed at the money flowing in because of Chobani. With Chobani, however, comes Muslim refugees that Mr. Ulukaya is finding new jobs for. Of course, yogurt uses milk and lots of it, so the dairy farmers of Idaho are smiling as well. In 2015, the Idaho State Journal claimed that 640 Saudis and 480 students from Kuwait attended the Idaho State University. Now that's near Pocatello. 450 showed up at the annual Eid feast held at the Student Union building in the ballroom there, hosted by the Islamic Society. Local dignitaries such as Pocatello Mayor Brian Blatt as well as Mayor Kevin England of Chubbuck were present. Education is big business, but why all the Muslims now being schooled in Idaho? Muslims will often try to convince us that Islam has a superior social and economic system, yet here we find them coming to be educated by us infidels. What's that about? With Muslims comes mosque or masjids, and with mosques come other problems that Europe and England have become well familiar with. There are always those who take Muhammad's Quran literal, and that becomes a problem for us in the West, us kafirs or unbelievers, who like to have our heads attached to our shoulders. How soon are we going to be hearing their call to prayer blasting 5 times a day from the loudspeakers of a local mosque? Then there is the division between the Shiites and the Sunnis, which has never gone well in the Middle East. This photo of Shiite men in Pocatello gives us a reason for concern. Oh, it's just a cultural thing, some will argue. Well, so is honor killing and female genital mutilation. Then we have Dr. Daniel Hummel, a convert to Islam and a professor of political science at the Idaho State University. He happens to be the General Secretary of the Islamic Society of Southeastern Idaho. He can be seen on YouTube and the Pocatello Mosque website, giving his spin on Islam for the naive Western audience. His claim is that no non-Muslim can explain Islam, and by doing so would likely be classified as hate speech, which is not protected by the First Amendment. We would argue that if no non-Muslim can explain Islam, then no Muslim, including Mohammed, should be trying to explain Christianity. However, that is exactly what Muhammad's Quran, written 500 years after the fact, attempts to do by redefining nearly all Christian doctrine and terms. Hummel freely expresses the view that there's no Islam without Sharia, for Sharia simply means law, the law of Islam. There is no separation between Islam and its laws. The separation of religion and state is a concept foreign to Islam. Now, Dr. Hummel's approach is to promote interfaith dialogue to a generally ignorant and unguarded society. The Islamic Society of Southeastern Idaho was started after a local U of I coach with a Christian background by the name of Abe Gibbons got a job coaching in Saudi Arabia, where he was converted and came back with the name Ibrahim Gibbons. Now, Idaho's large Mormon population is likely to find the Muslims in direct conflict with their theological views as well, especially when Muslims find out that Mormons, or Mormonism, is a polytheistic religion that teaches that man can become gods.